This week, escalating, big breaking, and coffee making. Hello and welcome to another edition of 24/7, where this week we begin with a look at one of the items on the Gadget Show.
Exactly, yeah. So there'll be 3 challenges today. There'll be an espresso challenge, a milk course challenge, and then a signature drink challenge.
Ooh, a signature drink, that's whatever we fancy.
Exactly.
And would be using the basic tools of his trade along with a wealth of knowledge, experience and expertise.
Hang on, he's got a form of technology as well there, hasn't he? Let's see what he was doing with it.
First round, espressos.
So I'm going to start by grinding the coffee. This is an Ethiopian coffee called Nikise.
Dan reckons 18.5 grams of ground coffee makes for the perfect espresso.
So I'm going to make sure this is nice and level using the distribution tool.
And there's an art to the tamping too.
And then tamp nice and level using a flat tamper.
Fairly simple, not too many steps. Let's see what the presenters were trying.
Clearly the start of good coffee is to get the right beans and roast them perfectly. And we've got the Ikawa home roasting machine here.
Which is controlled by an app. So we
Yes.
love that. The Ikawa Digital Micro Coffee Home Roaster allows you to create a wide variety of different roasted coffee beans by varying temperature and timing.
£725 for what's described as a home gadget. That's a bit steep, isn't it? And it's only roasted the beans. There's some more industrial technology to do the rest of it.
We were using the Volcano Swift, which automated everything for us.
£3 to grind the coffee?
And there we are, you
wow,
see,
look at
tap
that.
ready to go into the next machine. The La Marzocco Linear PB does the barista maths for you.
£11,000 to make some coffee?
Having used a ridiculous amount of tech to create such a tiny drink,
Yeah, and a ridiculous amount of money.
it was time to start dishing them out.
That was only round 1 as well. Here's round 2.
Dan made a cappuccino using the same espresso as in the first round. Frothed milk using a basic steam wand and a touch of flair to top it off.
But what were the presenters doing?
I've got the San Remo SR70 Evo Titanium.
£1,300?
The puck press will automatically detect the presence of a portafilter with its load.
£600, or a slightly more affordable.
Which is the San Remo Opera machine, which is designed to give you all the control you get with a manual espresso maker.
18 grand? I'm only making some coffee.
To create our lovely fluffy milk, we used a Hotpoint milk frother, which uses induction technology. Ah,
Yeah, this was less Costa coffee, more Costa lot. And how were the results anyway?
Look, John, that's brilliant.
I
Who
say,
wouldn't
well,
buy that?
Me.
Look, John, all over your face, look.
I think we need more automation here with this. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no.
You put the stencil a bit closer to the cup and you might be all right.
Well, this halogen light will heat that up. And as soon as you see that starting to bubble,
Yeah.
then we want to seal it in.
And the final round of the coffee competition went a bit space age for both parties.
The siphon was taking forever to warm up. In the meantime, Dan was prepping what he assured us was a basic tool of his trade. It seemed as if even he couldn't resist the lure of a good bit of tech.
John and Otis, though, were adding a lure of a more alcoholic variety to their signature drink.
For our cocktail, we added 1 shot of our siphon brew, 1 shot of caramel syrup, 1 shot of Kahlua, and some vodka.
I'll put 2 of those.
So, you said it.
Okay, brilliant.
2 of these, a little bit vodka.
Would you like some coffee with that booze? And after that, it was time to tot up the final scores.
The results are in,
Okay.
so we're going to see who has won this
iPad
challenge.
results, and we're going in reverse order, starting with the signature drink. And it's Dan 3, who scored 11.
Yes!
So moving on to the milk round, or the cappuccino round, and Dan scored 16, and we scored 11.
Okay.
So it's all on the
is, isn't
the
it?
espresso.
Yeah.
Get it 11, Dan 15.
Man.
Oh,
Well played. It's tight.
well done.
Well done, man.
Cheers. Well done.
Cheers.
It's great.
So we came to ask the question, can tech beat a professional? Sadly, the answer is no.
Great, they used over 30 grand's worth of kit and they still lost. They were losing unless they were boozing. Food Unwrapped now on Channel 4.
How on earth do you make your pesto so cheap?
How should I know?
Why is it when you roast marshmallows you get them all crispy on the outside and really soft in the middle?
I don't know.
Now, I like a cockle.
I beg your pardon?
Tell us what you're doing, Nick, 'cause all I can see is you're just having a bit of fun going round in circles.
And one of the presenters was looking for his mate Basil.
Later, I find Basil in a barely believable location.
Not really. Up first was a report from Italy about the picking of basil for use in pesto.
To pick up is the typical way in Genoa for basil genovese, so that you don't crush it.
Why don't you just pick it from the outside in?
I did not believe this is how you pick basil.
At one stage it turned into a competition to see how many times you could say extra virgin olive oil.
And oil is a key ingredient. But this doesn't look like extra virgin olive oil.
We have a high percentage of sunflower and a lower percentage of extra virgin olive oil. If you use only extra virgin olive oil, it overwhelms the taste.
So if you use 100% extra virgin olive oil, it'd be very expensive and it will be very strong in taste.
Yes.
I thought I could also spot some gigantic donuts in the sea at one stage.
Now look, you're looking at basil in a very different way, aren't you?
We are.
Why are we standing here in the sea?
Because we're growing basil. How does that taste?
Intense.
Intense? Good?
It's delicious.
Yeah, not making vast quantities, is he? Next, Kate was out in the fields learning about marshmallows.
Where I'm meeting foraging fanatic Richard Osmond.
Richard Osmond?
Where I'm meeting foraging fanatic Richard Osmond.
Oh, Osmond. Sorry. And finally, the team looked at the processing of cockles from British waters. Some of the people on the show had been doing their job for a good while.
I'm meeting Glyn Hyman, whose family have cockled here since the 1860s.
But one of the processors just wanted it all to themselves.
So why aren't our supermarket shelves crowded with British cockles? Maybe shellfish processor Steve Williams can help me.
Oh, shellfish. Sorry.
95% of our production goes fresh to Holland, and from there it goes to Spain.
Oh, that's a bit of a detour.
Oh, well, why do the Spanish like them so much?
I don't care as long as they keep buying them.
The news now, and of course there was only one story last weekend.
In a tape from 11 years ago, he's heard bragging about using his celebrity status to grope women, comments which have attracted widespread condemnation from his own party. He's apologised, but insists he will fight on.
Tapes were released showing US presidential candidate Donald Trump making comments about women that were as lewd as they were unnervingly natural. And his later apology, despite subdued, had an air of typical Trump.
I've never said I'm a perfect person, nor pretended to be someone that I'm not. I've said and done things I regret, and the words released today on this more than a decade-old video are one of them.
Away from that, of course, they were having their election debate this week, and to be honest, a lot of the time was spent just slagging one another off. As a result, here's a quick summary from ITV News, which proves that really we didn't really miss all that much.
So let's take a look at what Mrs. Clinton and Mr. Trump actually talked about. The debate itself lasted 90 minutes, but almost half an hour of the debate was spent away from what they do as president, instead discussing issues like Trump's taped comments and his allegations against Bill Clinton, along with how much he pays in taxes, and, of course, on Hillary Clinton's emails and whether she has been honest with voters. The economy was barely mentioned, despite most Americans highlighting it as the most important policy area when it comes to deciding who to vote for. The focus instead falling on national security and immigration, foreign policy and healthcare. What matters now, of course, is how all that plays out in that handful of states which actually decide the result, the so-called swing states.
Back in the UK, and the Brexit was biting, and it was biting our food. On Thursday, Unilever and Tesco entered a standoff over who to take the hit for a declining pound, seeing the removal of some products from Tesco's website. The winner of the contest will play the winner of Morrison's versus Kraft in next week's final. And Nicola Sturgeon was suggesting she may reignite referendum fever with an announcement at the SNP conference.
I can confirm today that the independence referendum bill will be published for consultation next week.
The BBC had some fun covering this, with one of their reporters trying to do a piece to camera while simultaneously riding on an escalator in the opposite direction to that of the cameraman. Oh, quick, get your speech out. He's going past. Oh, he's turning round on the escalator. Give that cameraman a prize. In the sporting world, the inspirational career of Jessica Ennis-Hill came to an end as she retired from athletics ahead of next year's World Championships in London. And Yorkshire was given yet another cycling event to host, in the form of the 2019 Road World Championships. Elsewhere, Elton John's let himself go, hasn't he?
Dude, it's got to be something quintessentially British.
Not really, this was the Hairy Bikers Chicken and Egg on BBC Two, where the two motorcycling enthusiasts have been looking at various recipes from around the world involving, you guessed it, chickens or eggs. This week they were back in the UK and discussing how far they'd previously travelled for a good meal.
We are going across France just to find a chicken.
I'd just pop to Morrison's if I were you. They started off in a restaurant in London, and I couldn't help thinking that the restaurateur had nicked some of his ideas from another outlet.
Savoury, sweet chili, this is a honey butter garlic KFC.
Not really, it actually stood for something else.
Then out comes the Korean fried chicken.
Ah, Korean fried chicken. Now what do you get if you combine the word berserk and bonkers?
100 mils of vodka. No, we haven't gone bazonkers. Vodka kind of explodes and makes it really, really crispy.
Bazonkers, great. Now they were making their own sauce, but I couldn't help thinking they were putting a few too many spices in for my liking.
But it wouldn't be Korea without a banging hot chilli sauce. We start off with this staple of Korean cookery, the red pepper paste. Hot! 1 big spoonful of chilli sauce and 1 teaspoon of rice vinegar.
Crikey, steady on.
1 tablespoon of honey. So again, it's massive sweet and savoury hits.
And before they left the restaurant, they treated themselves to some karaoke.
So I'm a shooting star leaping through the skies like a tiger. I'm fighting lost gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like bleeding cadaver.
Has he ever heard this song before?
Oh, look at this, man. Lorenzo's about to reveal his secret to making an authentic jerk marinade.
Over here, we've got... This is like discovering the theory of evolution.
Yeah, I mean, the perfect comparison, really, isn't it? The perfect jerk chicken, the theory of evolution. It's great. I mean, it's like my favourite comparison. Fish and chips, world peace. Brilliant. They also took a trip on their travels to Bromsgrove near Birmingham to sample some more chicken curries.
You can forget going on your fancy cruises. Bromsgrove, I've seen the light.
Check out our local delicacies. Try out the sauna. And dance the night away.
You can forget going on your fancy cruises. Bromsgrove, I've seen the light.
Bromsgrove. See the light. And of course, what with it being the Hairy Bikers, they were joking around aplenty.
Do you know the little takeaway that I use at home? Yeah. You know, the tandoori oven?
Yeah.
Poor old chef, he died.
Really?
It was tragic. He slipped in the kitchen and fell into a coma.
No, well, I could be here all week and not come up with a better gag than that. I'm off. See ya.
In Thailand, they use a blending method called pounding, you know.
They are good fun, the Hairy Bikers, but I couldn't help thinking that this scene was taking it a bit too far in the daftness stakes.
Well, it's not a Thai pestle and mortar, but this little belter, this'll sort this out.
Also on the show, they tried to get a bit of a new catchphrase kick-started.
When the cardamoms are popping, the onions come a-rocking.
That's not the only rhyming couple that I've seen this week, actually, either. Nick Hewer over on Countdown was trying out a new catchphrase of his own.
So 62 apiece. We've got a fight on our hands here. Let's have a tea time teaser. Give them a breather.
I love that. I've actually got a couple of rejected catchphrases here. Let's see what that meant with Susie Dent, and let's see who's betters at the numbers and letters. It didn't quite fit, that one, didn't quite work with the grammatical accuracy they needed for Countdown, so that got rejected, but it is quite good.
Garnish with coriander and fresh chilli. Right, that is like no other cucumber sandwich I've ever seen. Come on.
Yeah, that's because it isn't one. Ooh. I know what you're thinking. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Well, let's find out.
What came first, the chicken
Or the egg?
If you want eggs, shout eggs. If you want chicken, shout chicken. Dude, that's way louder.
Abbas, what do you think?
Well, that's that settled then. Over on the One Show, there was some amazing pants chat with Jeremy Paxman, and I've not made that up.
No, I mean, the problem, I conclude in the end, is that there actually isn't any intrinsic problem with any brand of underpants, except that in the same way as when you buy food, it says best before or eat by or something.
True.
The same should be true of pants. Because once they've gone... Do you know how old the pants are that you're wearing today?
I've got some... well, without thinking about it too much, yes.
Exactly. But, I mean, you don't know how old they are. And because you don't know, you see, the thing is that eventually they've gone through the wash enough times, they start getting a bit ropey. So
I'm just loving the fact here we are sitting on the One Show with Jeremy Paxman having an in-depth conversation about pants.
There was also a fantastic piece of television as Giles Brandreth gave Alan Carr's new book, The Once-Over.
And I've just got to page 37 in the back. Halfway down this, I read the following line. Apparently, Giles Brandreth is a borderline cretin. The good news is I've corrected all the punctuation. I'm giving it back so that for the paperback it's going to be really good. My name will be correctly spelt.
I'm so embarrassed.
Matt Baker was getting incredibly excited as well on Thursday. He was in his element. They were doing goose herding over on the One Show. I don't really know why I'm doing this entirely in his voice, but it's great. Let's go and have a look at it. Fantastic TV.
Alan and the gaggle behind are well behind, but this looks good to me. Right, Giles, get that fence, pull it in. And Giles is in. Oh, hang on. That'll do. Let me help you with this as well. Go on, Barbara. Get ready, Al. Close the gate. That'll do. That will do indeed.
Quality daytime filler Who's Doing the Dishes now over on ITV, where each day 4 random people compete to decipher who's been cooking them a meal through a series of cryptic and not so cryptic clues. If they can manage to do it, the celebrity will have to wash up and the team will win £500 to split 4 ways. If they fail, however, it'll be the team's turn to do the washing up. And on Thursday's show, it was the turn of snooker player turned commentator Willie Thorne.
What's green, has 4 legs, and would kill you if it fell out of a tree? A snooker table! Ah!
Yeah, snooker tables generally got 8 legs, Brian. You might be a dab hand with the cue and also in the commentary box, but how are Willie's cooking skills?
Why didn't I think of that?
What an invention that is.
Oh.
Right, and then we give it a bashing. Stand clear, Brian. Oh,
you broke the bag.
We broke the bag, but don't worry, the wife's not here. Oh.
No, it's going everywhere. Now, eating 3 courses of food and giving out 6 random clues does not an hour-long TV show make. So on Who's Doing the Dishes, there's a heck of a lot of random filler activities that have got absolutely nothing to do with the actual cooking or competition. At one stage in this episode, Brian took Willie Thorne outside for a game of snooker on a small table. And let's see, as a snooker fan, how many snooker-based errors we can spot here.
You shouldn't have.
Can you see this? No expense spared, really?
You really shouldn't have.
No, he really shouldn't, as the brown, green and yellow are the wrong way round. something the production team quickly noted.
Brian McFadden takes on world snooker champion Willie Thorne for the first time.
Yeah, unfortunately, Willie was never actually the world champion.
2 reds down and perfect on the black. This could be a 147.
Well, it can't be a 147 as there's not enough reds, and it certainly can't now. You've just put 2 reds in one shot.
Maybe Brian shouldn't have given up the day job.
I should clear up from here. Ready?
Hang on, did he just play the same shot again? And there was one final clanger to come.
What's your fastest ever 147?
Oh, Ronnie's was 6 minutes 15, but I think mine would have been 10, 12 minutes, something like that.
Still good.
Yeah, still good, but Ronnie's was actually 5 minutes 20, just to clarify that. Right, after lots of faffing about, let's get on with the actual clues.
Are we still thinking somebody with animals?
Yeah, I think we can safely say it's somebody that likes animals, because we've seen enough animals sort of dotted around.
Now, I'm not saying these early clues were a little bit tenuous, but let's just check the logic that they're meant to step through on that one. Toy Fox, Foxers, nickname of Leicester City Football Club. Leicester City Football Club from Leicester. Who's famous from Leicester? Willie Thorne. Who else were their guesses then?
If it was Bear Grylls, we would have a point away if it was Bear Grylls, because that's funny. I didn't deny drinking, Yeah,
I don't think Bear Grylls drinks his own wee all the time.
At this rate, I won't be doing the dishes.
Is he just eating random other stuff so there's more washing up if they lose?
Is it a ladies or a man's, or do you...
Man's.
Man's one.
The next object clue was a little bit tenuous as well.
It's definitely a man.
The team was shown a male ballroom dancer's outfit, signifying Willie's time on Strictly 9 years ago. Yeah, I mean, just think of all the famous male celebs who've been great on Strictly before. There's obviously Harry Gillett, McFly. There was Jay from The Wanted last year, wasn't there? He was good. There was Lewis Smith, the gymnast, of course, and other recent news stories. He was pretty good at it. And then, there's the other really good bloke. Who else did Strictly? Who's the really good guy? Who was it? No, he was really good on Strictly. Willie Thorne, that's it.
This is your final clue.
By the end, the team had narrowed it down to a snooker player by being shown clues such as a snooker trophy. However, they didn't really have any reason to pick a particular player, and so they decided to take Brian's bonus. This is an element of the programme where the team can relinquish 100 of their whopping £500 jackpot to have an extra clue where Brian Westlife dresses up as the celebrity, essentially, or something very close to it. Here, the clue was pretty obvious.
Oh no! Why didn't he wear some glasses?
You know, now watch out for those prickly bits, yeah? Careful now.
What's the thorns? Oh no!
Why didn't you just dress up like that an hour ago, Brian, and you saved us a lot of time? Finally, this woman managed to make sure that we didn't quite make the full hour without an innuendo.
I can't wait to see Willie tonight. I'm really excited.
So the team managed to guess that it was Willie Thorne after Brian Westlife had pretty much just dressed up as Willie Thorne.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, cheers, yeah. Cheers, lovely. Thank you very much. I'll enjoy this. Thank you.
Well, I'm quite hungry now. Turned into a bit of a food special, that, didn't it? I'm off for a bite to eat. We'll see you next week on 24/7.